Second Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop.
Thursday. Hope you had a really nice new year. Welcome to 2025, our first Second Cup of 2025.
Can you believe it?
No, and you know what? I think, is this year 3 or 4 of Second Cup?
I don't know. The years blend, the days blend, the hours blend.
Doesn't it feel like that recently? Like everything has gone faster.
I'm so
and faster.
tired right now. Yes.
Well, for you, I don't know how much
Like
faster
everything
it goes.
is blending. Yes.
I don't know about you.
I think it's been 3 years.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you, but I kind of am a little. I do know about you. Maybe I'm talking about you. My mic? Oh, it was on. That's weird.
Is it turning off?
It turned off. That's so bizarre.
Is it not?
Now it's on. Well, anyway, what I was going to say as we start this new year, I kind of feel like the holidays were just kind of here and gone.
Yeah, they were. Well, for some of us, the holidays didn't even get here. And I'll tell you why. Because so many people have been sick.
Right.
We're still trying to catch up with people that we like normally see over the holidays.
Sure. Well, and I also think it's because Thanksgiving was so late this year.
And it like flew right into
Yeah.
Christmas and Hanukkah. And you're like, ah.
And I'm not ready for it to be done.
The good news is, by the time you and I exchange gifts for the holidays,
It'll
it's
be next
usually
year.
May.
Yeah, I know.
So we really like to drag that out. Like we did it like August of this year.
That
Remember?
is so funny. Yeah.
We were
That's
like
the
out
first
to
time we cut
dinner,
a
like,
minute.
hey, Merry Christmas.
From last year. It wasn't even from like it was the blizzard, I think. It was so funny.
Yeah, we like hung on to the same gifts.
Yeah. Linda says, wait till you get older like me, the days just fly by. Rachel says it all went so fast. Connie, the whole year went fast. Like, I wasn't ready for the spirit of the season to end. I'm not ready to see Valentine's Day in the stores.
I'll tell you what I'm not ready for, what Tracy's saying, back to the grind after the holidays.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a
Remember
really
earlier
good
this
point.
week when you were like, I'll just blow them in. Let's not do anything. Let's do nothing today. I don't want to do anything today.
Which is the first time I've ever said that. But I actually meant it, though. I think it was New Year's Eve day. It was Tuesday.
We were tired. It's weird having a Wednesday off. It's weird having a middle of the week off.
And what I wound up suggesting and we wound up doing is putting this really, really funny Instagram reel together, showcasing the generations. And if you're with us on a regular basis, or perhaps you missed over the last couple of days, what we were talking about is how in 2025, there's a brand new generation that started, Generation Beta. And so we went around to all the different people in the newsroom from really 3 different generations.
Yeah, I think we got 3 generations.
Trying to figure out if they knew the same things.
We got the Zs, the
that we knew.
millennials, and Gen X.
Right.
We could have found a boomer, but Ed was tired.
Well, anyway, you can follow us on Instagram at MorseCat and at Dranch TV.
And it was super cute.
And Mark is right. Some children are back to school today.
No kidding. Yeah, a lot of them.
We actually went digging to see what districts went back. Niagara Falls is back today.
I
Buffalo,
would say most of them are back
Hamburg,
today.
Cheektowaga.
Yeah.
Well, Williamsville isn't. They've got off until Monday.
Yeah.
And then
Now, I kind of wonder, does Williamsville factor in Hanukkah, do you think?
no,
No?
because I think Hanukkah's not that important in the grand scheme of things.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I feel like there's a pretty big Jewish population out in Williamsville.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I was thinking, like, maybe they're like, well, we'll just knock out these next couple days off.
Maybe they had
I don't
time in the
know.
calendar.
Yeah.
I think Hanukkah, like when you compare Hanukkah to Christmas, it's like apples to oranges.
Right, because, like, if it's early in December, they don't get a day.
Right.
You know?
And really, in terms of like the importance of it, like Christmas is like one of the holidays that is in the Jewish calendar, like the high holidays.
Cindy's taking the tree down today.
No.
I think we're taking ours down pretty soon, too. I took down all the other decorations, minus the ones I couldn't reach. Said to Paul, you got to get on a chair and get those.
Linda's is still up. Okay, can I ask you a question? So when I usually take the Christmas tree down, I make sure I go through and get all of the ornaments first. That takes hours. That is a long process because there's ornaments in the tree and all around and up and down.
Yeah, I kind of downside. Like I have a lot of ornaments, but I got rid of some of the ones like this past year as I was getting ready for Christmas. I got rid of some of the decorations I don't use.
Yeah.
I took them to Goodwill. I got rid of some of the ornaments I don't use, like the plain glass balls. Do you know what I mean? Like the ones that
The
like
colored ones?
don't mean as much to me. Like I got them at Michael's to fill in some gaps when I was 22. And I've been hanging on to them ever since.
Linda has no sound. Can everyone hear us? Peter says, I went to Williamsville schools and we got off for the 2 Jewish holidays that are in the fall, right? Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Those are really the 2 most important holidays in the Jewish calendar. Like Hanukkah, like I said, I mean, like you're talking about Jesus' birthday, and Hanukkah's just like, okay, the temple burned, we found the oil, it burned for 8 days.
Give me presents.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I would always, when I was teaching swimming and spinning, I really had to keep an eye on the Jewish calendar in the fall.
Oh, yeah, because it was at the JCC.
Yeah. And I'd be at the one at the gym, like, why is the parking lot empty?
Surprise!
Why am I here at 6 a.m.?
Well, okay, a couple of things that we want to talk about this morning. Number one, the terror attack in New Orleans. And I think this has everyone kind of second guessing their own safety and security. So I want to hear from you. Is this something that you keep in the back of your mind?
Like this video, watching this too, can we just say, like, it's like, come on.
It's crazy.
It's just like, ugh.
And then the reality of the fact that this guy is a veteran, but then also apparently an ISIS sympathizer.
Well, so I think my question is, here's what I'd like to know from the Cuppies. Did anybody go like downtown for New Year's Eve? Because we didn't go this year.
No.
Did anybody go somewhere that was kind of crowded for New Year's Eve? Did you see, we know there was stepped up security. Did you see it? Did you feel comfortable? You know, those are the things we talk about now when we go out.
You know, it's kind of like being at the mall too, because, you know, like Boxing Day, we know has turned into a notoriously dangerous night or day for people at the mall. And we saw it, there are fights there, and, you know, one thing turns into another, and then, you know, the snowball of commotion rolls, and everyone thinks it's more than it actually is, which creates even more panic.
Yeah.
Kelly, you definitely have to be aware of your surroundings. And I think that's the truth. You can't not live your life, but you just have to be aware.
I do kind of get Paula's point, though. My family and I stay away from large events other than Bills games. Like, you pick what's important to you, and then maybe you do kind of just, you know, do what makes you feel the most safe.
Danielle says, I stay home New Year's Eve, don't trust the crowds anymore. Kelly, I tell my kids, one earbud in. And so that was interesting. So we had a security expert on maybe last week. Were you here for this? Okay. So one thing that she said, and it was smart. It wasn't here. Sorry. It was a Saturday Today that I was watching. I was watching the Today Show on a Saturday morning. And the expert told the anchors that one thing that we can do to maintain our situational awareness is take your earbuds out.
Yeah, I don't ever walk around with them in.
I sometimes do when I'm walking the dog just to listen to music. Yeah. But like we're also kind of connected nowadays that we lose one of our senses when we are doing that in public.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like it's a no-brainer. But didn't really dawn on me until she actually said it.
I will say the one thing I'll do on occasion is like when I am walking the dog, but also like when we're walking the dog, for the most part, you and I, it's like
you're going around
middle of the day.
Right.
And you're right. But I will occasionally like be talking on the phone to somebody. You know?
Yeah, sure. Me.
Sometimes.
Kim says, I'm so tired of hearing these things. This is our world nowadays. Just be aware of where you are. Peter says, when I go out, I do feel comfortable and try not to think about attacks. However, I keep in my mind anything can happen.
Lynn went to downtown NT. Remember they were having a big event? Felt very safe there. Police and fire all over the area.
So Kelly, to the earbuds point, these kids nowadays have earbuds in all the time. You know, the one thing that I thought was kind of interesting about this whole thing, and, you know, I'm obviously more in tune to this because of my job, number one, and number two, because it's like the true crime thing that is always fascinating to me. Yeah. The FBI had warned about something like this.
Well, they were telling cities to be aware, beef up security, you know, right.
So how do you do that? And Police Commissioner Joe Gramaglia spoke about that on the days leading up to New Year's Eve about how Buffalo would be protected. So I want you to listen to what he had to say.
Sheriff's Department, we work with the New York State Police, we work with the FBI on threat pictures, intelligence. We want to make sure that they're safe, and how we do that, we will take DPW plow trucks, other heavy equipment trucks, and we stage them on the outer perimeter to make sure that they can prevent any vehicle ramming, any accidental drive-throughs.
Well, okay. I don't know that we heard the entire thing, and I think it's just because our signal is buffering.
Well, you get his point.
Exactly.
Though.
They're so
right. They were kind of surrounding the area.
right. So they're taking those big trucks and setting them up as barriers. They've got drones flying overhead, and they had snipers standing up or doing whatever on other vantage points, making sure that they had a bird's eye view of the crowd. And it sounds scary, but it's necessary.
Well, and you know what? We've seen this too when we've marched in parades.
You see the snipers along Delaware Avenue.
The St. Patrick's Day Parade. So I think that they kind of have a plan.
So Kelly says you can beef up security all you want. If someone is on a mission, it's getting done. See, I disagree with that, Kelly, and here's why. Because I think that when you take these kind of visible precautions, it is definitely a deterrent. And when you have concrete barriers or you have certain precautions, you see the police, you see the visible presence. I don't know that we necessarily saw that. And again, just from what I was watching and listening to, it does not seem like these barriers were in place to the extent that they were perhaps here on New Year's Eve. So I wonder how much fallout there will be from the police department here, though they did do a lot to save lives in New Orleans. And certainly our thoughts are with the people. 15 victims here, their families starting the new year off without them. But I just wonder what the fallout will be once the investigation continues. So we'll see.
Yeah. Peter says, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't New Orleans in the midst of upgrading the barrier prior to New Year's Eve? I don't know.
I don't know either. Katie says, there are so many soft targets you can't just protect anywhere. Take a look at the Amtrak. You walk right onto the train. They don't even check a ticket until you're sitting and the train is moving. Yeah, great point. And that's the whole thing. I mean, like soft targets or hard targets. I mean, there's a whole host of how we look at this. But again, I think when we take a look at the investigation, it will wind up saying that perhaps more needed to be done.
Well, and you hate to see anything where somebody obviously gets killed, like any capacity of stuff like that. But and then those are the things too that then we end up learning more from, you know what I mean? And like seeing where any weaknesses were, like maybe they did have this beefed up effort, but maybe they didn't consider X, Y, and Z.
Sure.
I don't know. It's so sad. Like these people are just out trying to have a good time,
Okay, so Lynn says they were still under construction and going to be placed out before the Super Bowl, which obviously is a month away. They were talking about that during the press conference yesterday. Yeah, it's
right. And then you think about, we've got this huge event that's going to be there.
It's tough.
Like, and we're not even just talking, like in my head when we were mentioning that this morning, I'm like, oh, it's a couple months. It's not a couple months away.
No, it's
weeks away.
Literally weeks. Nonetheless, how this happened, who this person is, and who was working with him.
Because right now there's these concepts like, could things have been connected with what happened to other places across the country? So you better believe that's going to be what they're looking into today. I
should point out that I did ask Commissioner Grimaglia to be on with us this morning. I did not hear back from him. I asked him with short notice. So, it was just kind of a thought I had. Same thing with the sheriff, John Garcia, who actually issued a statement saying that we have to be vigilant and ever mindful when it comes to what's going on around us.
They may have both been up for hours and hours over the past couple of days.
So
they may be taking a nap right now.
We are trying to make the effort for you.
That's fair. Maybe we'll talk to them later today.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about a couple of other things that are going on. Minimum wage coming up. For a lot of people, we are now pushing $15.50 as minimum wage here in Western New York. So minimum wage going up 50 cents in the new year.
This is my favorite question to everybody who's with us when we talk about this. What was minimum wage when you got your first job?
What was yours?
I don't know if it was minimum wage, but I made $4 something.
Yep.
Working at Lou Gehrig,
What's that? Ice cream?
baseball, softball.
okay.
Yep,
No,
but that's what
duh.
I was doing. I was scooping the. Did you say duh?
Yeah.
I
Lou
was
Gehrig.
scooping the ice cream.
That makes sense.
Scooping the ice cream, getting the pizzas, getting the grand slams ready for the kids. They get a token after each game, and then they get an ice cream or candy.
Melly, there is no way that your minimum wage was $9.50. No way. No way.
Edward, you calling her out?
I love you, girl, but there's no way. Because my minimum wage in like the early 2000s
Yeah,
was $4.25.
yeah, it was for something, and then my first like lifeguarding job, I think it was $5.25. And now I see how much lifeguards are making, and I'm like, oh
Yeah. Okay. So Sarah, I think $7.25 when I started working as a lifeguard. Oh, hold on. What did she say? Gosh, $7.25 when I started working, but lifeguards, my job, were getting 12.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, lifeguards now, Sarah, like in the city of Buffalo, aren't they paying like $20
Yeah.
an hour?
Anita says increase in minimum wage, which I do not disagree with, means higher prices of product. So how do we balance this? Do we say, yes, we support paying more, which means people are able to spend or make ends meet, generally speaking, but then we don't want the cost of anything to go up.
Yeah.
It's such a hard dynamic.
Rosemary says she remembers minimum wage being $1.85.
Wow.
Marguerite, it was too long ago to remember.
Oh, okay. Melly says when she started in healthcare, it was $9.50. Okay, fair.
So maybe her first like salaried job.
Sure. Her first healthcare job. Minimum wage.
Tracy, $4.55, made about $6.
That's what Denise was saying, $4.55.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vicious cycle, and Anita says. She's right. I mean, like, we're seeing everything becoming so much more expensive, and with minimum wage continuing to go up, you want people to be able to survive and make ends meet and not have to live at or below the poverty line.
Yeah. And then too, when you factor in like a lot of people saying they were servers and how much, we know that obviously operates very differently because you're getting tipped on top of what you're making.
You know what I've seen a lot of when it comes to tipping? Tips being included in the bill recently. And
Really?
I actually support that.
Like 20%, they just put it in the bill?
Yeah.
18%? What are they putting in? How much?
20, I think.
Okay. Like where?
Gosh, I can't remember where it was, but it happened twice. And it's...
Like a fancy restaurant or a casual restaurant?
I can't really remember. But I do remember I was with a party of 4 or 6, and a tip was already added in. And I thought
Did they tell you that? Were they
Yes.
like, hey, the tip's included here?
Yes.
I appreciate that.
I do too. I think that's great
Mhm.
because that automatically means that the server is getting their due.
Right.
And, like we can stop saying, oh, it's based on service and blah, blah, blah. But like, it just means that they're getting a standard paycheck or a standard number
Yeah.
per
I
dollar
appreciate them letting you know because if you weren't paying close attention, do you know what I mean? You might tip on top of that.
Mark says, my gripe is that when the minimum wage goes up and government help is set for $7.25, a lot of minimum wagers get less help.
Julie's first job was at the horseback riding stable at Darien Lake before the Viper was there.
Oh, cool.
Huh.
Howard says, tips are not a guarantee. They are based on the service you receive. Don't charge me for something that I don't agree with. Interesting. Well, I guess that's the other side of that.
Sure. Denise says, my dad was over yesterday. We're talking about prices back in the day. Ice cream was 10 cents. Now it's $5. Ice cream is expensive
I
if you
know.
go out and get ice cream.
We went to Anderson's on New Year's Eve. Actually, it was the 5 of us. No, it was up in Williamsville.
Okay. I'm
Um,
like, you should have called.
But I think for the 5 of us, it was like $25, which really I don't
That's
think
what
is
you're
that
saying,
bad.
it's $5.
Yeah.
God, I love ice cream.
We also went to
What'd you
dinner. They had an Oreo flavor. It was just like vanilla
Hard
ice
ice cream?
cream. Yeah,
Okay.
with Oreos crunched in there.
Did you put on it anything?
No. What the heck is going on in there? Do you think Aaron's okay?
He's fine. Frankly, this sounds like the music he listens to. There's like a really squeaky cart going by in the other room.
Tracy says they usually add tips on upscale restaurants and larger parties. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
I work in retail and prices are going up so high. Cindy says on food, eggs, $5 a dozen. I know. Where's Sushi Queen? Lynn's talking about Sushi Queen.
Oh, wait. And here, Sherry says, how about this one? You put a tip on your pizza when you're picking it up?
No, I would never do that.
I do.
You do?
But I don't do 20%.
How? Okay, see, go on. Tell me your logic here.
I tip about 10% for the people who made the pizza. And I know that's their job, but like they made the pizza. I don't know. Because I got used to doing it during COVID. Maybe I didn't do it as much before. I really don't think I did as much before. But then during COVID, I feel like we heard about all the kitchen staff and how sometimes they get the short end of the stick. So now I tip like 10%.
Sometimes, like I know if you go to Tapo, there's like a fee for the kitchen staff.
Yeah.
And I
So
don't think that's cool.
if I see that, I'm like okay with it too. I
Yeah.
don't know that I'd tip on top of that.
Danielle says I give him a few dollars when I pick up pizza.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't.
You know, my dad always used to say, and frankly still says, like if you go pick up the pizza, or like when I was a high schooler, right? I'm 16, 17, I could just drive. We'd order pizza. He'd go, I'll buy you fly. So you had to go pick it up. He'd give you like the money to go.
And
Boy,
you keep the change.
can we talk about how expensive pizza has gotten?
Yes, I know.
Wow.
I know. It's pricey.
I won't say where my parents ordered from, but they ordered a pizza. Now, they will be the first to say it was like half a regular pizza, half kind of like a specialty, like a veggie pizza or
Okay.
whatever. Guess how much the pizza was?
$50.
$42.
Yep. And so we went to Franco's for pizza I guess it was for the Jets game, the Bills Jets game over the weekend. And it was $30, which I thought was okay. I thought that was fair.
Yeah.
32
God.
slice pizza.
But I remember babysitting, they'd leave me $20. They'd be like, order a pizza and whatever you want for the kids, pizza and breadsticks.
Great.
And you just like $20 would cover it.
Sure. You were also getting paid how much?
For babysitting?
Yeah.
Oh God, not what they get paid now.
Exactly.
These babysitters.
They get a lot. I mean, it's a lucrative career.
If someone's watching your kid, you're willing to pay. Like I know I'm going to be willing to pay if I
Sure.
trust that person, if they're, whatever. But man, I mean, I know I was a trustworthy teen and I probably started making like $5 something an hour.
Thanks.
By the time I was a little bit older, I think I made like $10 an hour.
Danielle says wings are crazy expensive. Also, it's true. And you know what I think is kind of crazy too? Sometimes if you add a topping, say like you add mushrooms or you add meatball or something like that, anything other than cheese, even pepperoni.
Mushrooms and meatball.
We're very Italian.
Do you put that on your pizza?
No.
I'm like, get out of town. I've not heard that combo.
But, sometimes we'll put meatball on.
Yeah.
It is like $1 more or $5 more. And I think that like those upcharges,
Yeah. Right.
are crazy.
You throw anything on and right. That's
and then they just get you.
they get you.
So Anita was saying that Sushi Queen is on Delaware in Tonawanda. Okay. Kelly wondering, do you tip a pizza driver if a place charges for delivery? Absolutely, I would. That I would do.
Yeah. A couple bucks.
Yeah. But I also...
I don't tip, like if I get a pizza delivered, I don't tip 20%. I tip probably closer to that 10%.
I don't remember the last time I had a pizza delivered. I got to be honest with you.
We really don't either. I'm a pick it up kind of person. Every now and then it's so annoying to get a pizza delivered at my house because the dog is losing his
Sure.
mind. My husband's like, where's the cat? I'm like, I would rather just go pick this up and deal with all of this.
You know what else? Sometimes you just need to get out of the house. And to me,
Like
that
people
is...
are digging through, finding singles so we have enough to tip the driver. Bandit's losing his mind,
Yeah.
running laps
Dana thought
up
it
and
was
down
so
the
funny.
stairs. I'm just like, okay.
So it's Sue wondering, do you tip a DoorDash driver? I don't use DoorDash.
I don't either. I
So-
do think you tip them, but I don't.
It's like Uber. Sometimes I forget to tip the Uber driver. Lynn, though, says on Thursday night, the ship in Lockport has 50-cent wings.
Can I tell you, I watched Larry David is so funny to me.
Yeah, he's hysterical.
And he was just talking about Uber and like your star rating. And he was on, I forget which podcast or whatever show he's on. And they're like, oh yeah, but he has the highest Uber rating. And he's like, why do we care? Like you have more stars than I do for sitting in a car and riding.
That is the way we look at things now.
I thought that was so funny.
In 2025, Paula says, I absolutely tip DoorDash, Instacart too. Kelly says it's a hard no because you tip them with your purchase. It's a hard no because you tip them with your purchase. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, the DoorDash people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're not giving them extra cash. But a lot of times you don't even see them because I feel like I see them in my street, like taking a picture and then they leave.
Did you give your mailman anything? for Christmas. Me too. I love our mailman. He's great. Does such a
Paul
good job.
handled that.
Yeah, well deserved. Anyway, we got to get the show on the road. Hope you're off to a great start in 2025. We'll see you tomorrow for Friday.